this beading lesson, we're going to talk about pierced tubing. Now this is a really great way to add some dimension to your stringing designs. So I'm using velour tubing, and this has a really soft feel to it. And what you do is, to begin piercing, you're going to need a beading awl. When you do a necklace, you always want to start in the center. And I lay my tubing like this so that I can kind of get a sense for where the top is. So once I have my center and I know that this is the top, then I bring in my awl. Now an awl is just a tool with a very pointed tip. So I'm going to use it to press downward through the tubing. And that's kind of creating what you might think of as a pilot hole. I'm just going to make sure that I go all the way through the tubing so that I can really see my hole when I'm ready to string. Now the next step is to bring a head pin in and pass it through the same spot. Now if you're not using a material that's as stiff as a head pin, you might want to use a needle. So here my head pin, you can see that this decorative ball stops it from coming all the way through. It rests right there on top, and now I'm ready to string beads here and create a dangle. So what you can do is start stringing and creating your pattern, and then here you can make a loop to attach another dangle, and I'll show you that on my finished design. We'll just come in with the round nose pliers there and make a basic loop, and this is just acting as a stopper for that bead that's already on there, and it gives you the opportunity to create a dangle there. So then I would just clip off the extra wire, and then I would come back and create another beaded head pin tangle to hang here. And let me show you on the finished necklace the way that this looks. So what I did on this piece is I actually passed the head pin through the tubing here with the piercing, and then through the shell bead frame and the crystals, as you can see, and looped it at the bottom. So that loop is doing two things. It's holding this component on, and then it's attaching a little dangle there for some extra movement. And this is just another way to add some dimension to these velour tubing designs. So you could also use beading wire as your piece that's passing through. And if you decide to do that, then you'll also need a needle. Now it'll be the same process where you use the awl as your pilot hole, but then you can use this type of hollow needle that has a pointed tip, and you just place the beading wire inside the needle. And these come in different sizes that you use according to the diameter of the beading wire that you're using. So once your beading wire is all the way through into the needle, then you can pass that through the velour tubing. And that's actually what inspired my design, as a piece by Fernando da Silva. So designer Fernando da Silva created this piece, and it uses the same pierced tubing effect. And you can see here the head pin's passing through. Oh, I'm sorry, the wire is passing through. That's where you're using the beading wire. And you also have the crystals, and they're held in place with the crimp beads. And he uses really colorful beading wire, so it really creates this kind of explosive fireworks type effect. And again, just adding more dimension to your stringing designs with the velour tubing. That's our beading lesson for today.